The Hood, also known as Parker Robbins, his dad was one of Kingpin's lieutenants, the city's kingpin of crime, and it didn't work out too well when it comes to living up to his legacy. And since this guy has the best of luck, during a routine warehouse burglary, Robbins stumbled upon a weird creature that had a mystic hood and boots. He ended up slaying the beast with a lucky shot. Then he donned its garments for himself, discovering they granted him a variety of magical abilities, including invisibility, teleportation, and levitation. He said, to take advantage of this opportunity with all this great power. And over time, he ended up becoming the kingpin of New York City's supervillain community, thereby surpassing his father. But the question always remained, was he using these demonic powers to gain control of Manhattan's underworld, or were those infernal forces using him? The Hood is one of those characters that gets better with his abilities, learns new stuff, gets stronger as time goes by, you could say. He spent time learning the black arts because he used to have to hold his breath to turn invisible, so it seems like he's improving. Because there's occasions where he talks where he's invisible. Limitations getting overcome. This isn't like a retcon or anything. It lets you know that, yeah, he's still learning and getting better. Oh yeah, just for those that don't know, yeah, he's linked to Dormammu because of his hood. Yeah, that's why he's so powered up. This goes back to improvements as time. They even talk about how he's able to do stuff without relying on the cloak or the gear anymore. That's how strong his connection has gotten, to where he just straight up got power. Like these guys out there were slick by trying to burn it and thinking he was powerless. Nope. This pretty much shows he can still power up. He has such a deep connection with Dormammu, he doesn't necessarily have to be in contact with the gear. Psionic beings that read the Hood's mind, they sense Dormammu. Yeah, he be talking with Dormammu. Hate him or love him, Dormammu behind your back kind of makes you feel a little safer, at least for a little while. Like he'll warn him of something that's approaching. You're probably thinking, oh, just take the hood off of him and he's going to be powerless, right? Well, let's just say he can control the hood even when he's not wearing it. Even though these are his magical abilities they listed, he can kind of do more stuff shown other than just this stuff. Like there was this one time he got hit with a taser, absorbed that energy and blasted that energy electricity back. And then there's this one time he shot blasts from his eyes that were fire. He has enhanced senses. He can see through illusions, and shape-shifting around him ain't gonna work. He can see your true self. He can feel the magic and track you down. Although the hood itself, technically, I guess, doesn't give him physical strength. I guess it doesn't really have to when Dormammu himself can increase his physical strength, or just raw strength in general, his statistics at will. So I guess you could say he has super strength just because Dormammu can just give him super strength. Literally praying to Dormammu, he can do rituals to do some sort of resurrecting people by doing incantations. They bust out of the grave. S.H.I.E.L.D. is known to be able to see things or notice things that are invisible, but even though they have anti-cloak sensors, his magical nature was still able to be rendered invisible to their tech. Don't try to hypnotize him. He can raise his own mental shields. It's rare when you see a person that got mystical, magical type of abilities that still bothers to use his pistols. I guess it makes sense in his defense. He can amplify his bullets with mystical energy to increase the potency of his bullets, more powerful than normal bullets. You know, stated here how he can fire bullets of demonic energy out of both barrels. Like he legit has a demonic transformation, demon form, where he powers up more than normal. It's a form he seems like he can just transform at will and just turn back to normal. And the thing about Parker is that he seems like he's always making some kind of deal with some type of godly, divine, demonic type beings. You know, thanks to Loki, he got the Norn Stones. Don't ask, but Loki was a woman here. See, there was points in time when he had lost his power. The Norn Stones was a way for the writer to give him his similar abilities back. There's even a point where he gets the Infinity Stones. Like, what's up with this guy making deals with Hell Lords? Like, Dormammu wasn't enough for you? He made a deal with Mephisto, the actual devil? Like, it was this time he made a deal with Mephisto to steal the spirit of vengeance out from under Johnny Blaze. And I guess it matches his hellish theme. I mean, he did become a Ghost Rider temporarily. He made a pact with Nightmare after losing Dormammu's gifts. Like, this dude is obsessed with making deals with these demon Helllord beings. And if he's not making deals with Helllord beings, he's always getting some type of magical artifact or book, like the Hollow Gospels. But whoa. I don't want to go too fast for you all. I'm not going to go over him having the power of the Norn Stones, the power of Mephisto or Ghost Rider and stuff yet. Nor do I want to go over him having the Infinity Gauntlet, because that's not fair. The Infinity Stones, you beat anybody with this. Let's go over him when he's powered up by Dormammu, possessed by Dormammu, channeling power of Dormammu, and his monstrous form and stuff. Let's do that first, all right? Let's face it, y'all. When it comes to his muscle, yeah, super strength isn't mentioned here, y'all, but let's be honest. You get your strength directly from Dormammu. He can enhance your physical strength too. Let's be real. The way he physically manhandles normal people implies it. I mean, some occasions the feats don't look that flashy. Like when you see him pick up beings one arm and throw them, that's implied enhanced physicals. Like you can literally see him physically tearing apart armored gauntlets, yo. Like that's superhuman strength. When you start analyzing the weight of his hits, you probably are going to gain a lot more respect for him. We've seen him do normal thug street stuff, pistol whipping, throwing shoes at people, like disrespect. He's one shot knocking beings out with a punch, busting noses with the weight of his kick, can strike and bust through windows. Don't ask how Punisher's fighting him. Yeah, his power definitely varied, but he's still able to make Punisher kind of drowsy. We've seen him hit Mr. Negative that he goes flying. I would say the only reason Super Soldier Tears can kind of box with him if he's not in his demon form. You know, in his demon form, he can overpower Super Soldier Tears like Hawkeye and such. You know, it seems with his energy blast, he can send a man flying. Like, there's implications that his power level changes. Like, say he's slugging with Wolverine here, but then he transforms. There seems to be a shift in the battle when he goes demon mode against Wolverine. He has the raw power to punch through concrete walls, obviously. No wonder he can hit or strike hard enough to pistol whip Tigra and make her bleed, make her kinda drowsy. Like, we see him get clawed by Tigra. Here, no telling what kind of magic this is, but he has blast or magic that can disintegrate Hawkeye's arrows mid-flight. His demon-enhanced gun blast can blow chunks out of the building visually. Like he states here, the guns are just for show, and it shows if he wanted to, he can blow down buildings or apartments, blah, blah, blah. It's no shock he can blow down buildings. Him fighting other beings end up destroying apartment buildings, mainly due to him being linked to Dormammu at this point in the video. He's definitely scarier than any nuclear bomb we have on Earth. Like, this implies he has ridiculous striking power, way more than you probably would expect. He literally kicked Titania, and it was implied she felt it. Like, look how durable he is. Being slammed by Titania and it engraved the ground. Titania, durability-wise, and just punching is up there with She-Hulk tier beings, just in case you're wondering why this kind of is a lot. Yeah, I know his power does vary, but yeah, he got so powerful to the point where Dormammu would just straight up possess him as the Hood. Like, he was so durable, he straight up took hits from Luke Cage, high-end powerhouse in Marvel. I mean, Luke Cage hit him with a car here, and he countered. There's implications he's a planet-shattering kind of type being when you really deep dive into his lore or mythos. I don't know how clear the narrative can get to let you know he's a powerhouse magic type character when there's candidates that could replace Doctor Strange for being Sorcerer Supreme, one of the highest magic people in Marvel. The Hood is one of those beings that could be one of those beings that could replace him as being a Sorcerer Supreme type character, along with a lot of other characters that are good with magic on this list. I mean, when it comes to battle feats and you see the beings he's encountering, like Wong, for example, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, sure, this was a surprise attack, but beings like Hulkling are not weak at all. We see him strike and knock them over. His blast, his super flames are able to knock out characters like Hulkling and Marvel Boy. Yeah, we see him get hit by Damon Hellstrom, somebody else I would advise you not to underestimate. All of this is, of course, when like his connection with Dormammu was way above his normal means. There's no way you believe he's not a powerhouse after watching him battle all these powerhouses. Dr. Voodoo, Miss Marvel, his body can withstand these hits from Miss Marvel. You know how powerful Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel's blast can get. Yeah, she can blast hard enough to melt a hole in a star. So him being able to withstand these hits is kind of proving what he can hit with, vice versa, because we see him retaliate and hit these beings back. I mean, notice how like he can clearly damage Captain Marvel tier beings. Like, you see her dripping blood. Yeah, even teamwork type of attacks ain't enough to cut it. Even when he's not super duper powered up in his demonic mode, he can get hit by her, bounce back, blast her with guns. Usually guns don't work against her, but it shows that his guns are way more potent than normal guns. This is what happens when you try to shoot her normally. And this is her facial expression when the Hood shoots her. Yeah, his blasts are way more potent. Like, he can withstanding hits from beings that can blast holes in stars, things that are way bigger than our largest planets in our solar system. I mean, powerhouses like Miss Marvel blast him here and he just retaliated. So, just like a lot of powerhouses in Marvel, via his blast power, punching power, via being amped by Dormammu, he should easily be way above planet-shattering level. Let's be real. Due to who's giving him his power, him being star-shattering levels of raw power shouldn't sound like that much of a stretch or a surprise, really. I want you guys to remember that Doctor Strange level magical type beings can literally fight actual star beings and throw them in black holes and stuff, make them go supernova and stuff. Like, so this thing I showed you earlier about him being somebody that could possibly replace him based on being one of the many beings that could replace him on this list, lets you know the Hood has to be able to produce that level of raw power, I would say. Doctor Strange can move moons and make them explode. So what does that say about Hood? Like, he not only took an attack from Doctor Strange, who's a high end, but this being known as Wiccan. Oh, my bad. You don't know who Wiccan is? Hold on. Wiccan is a very powerful magical being that can kind of bind beings like the Sentry, y'all. Somebody that has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. So Sentry, Wiccan, Doctor Strange, and the Hood are all beings that are quite a bit above the power needed to easily destroy a whole bunch of stars. Yo, like, destroying stars is like a joke. I mean, somebody like Wiccan is somebody that can, like, beam struggle with Doctor Doom. This was during when Doctor Strange wasn't Sorcerer Supreme at the time. Hood was so mighty that Doctor Strange considered him mightier than him in magic. Okay, what does all this stuff mean I've been saying? Okay, look, Damon Hellstrom, we see the Hood pull up to and fight, can damage him, especially when he transforms. This one got really crazy because not only is he fighting high-end Helllord type beings like Hellstrom, but he's fighting other Avengers that are not weak either, and he's technically fighting them all at the same time, including big names like Dr. Voodoo, busting up Doctor Strange's shields with his punches, everybody teaming up on him at the same time. The main reason this is impressive because if you just look at one of these characters really deeply, beings like Hellstrom on his own is already mighty enough to where he can one-shot literal Superman copycats, like a clone of Marvel's Hyperion, and we see Hellstrom able to blast these kind of beings. Sure, this was a clone of Hyperion, but just remember what the main Hyperion's durability is. Like, if this is supposed to be similar in power when it comes to the clone, Hyperions have a ridiculous history of durability, along with a lot of Marvel characters. One of the many Hyperions, obviously, was able to survive a collapsing universe. Well, actually, 2 collapsing universes, to the point where everything died except him. So, to one-shot a clone of Hyperion, what does that say? These beings can hit harder, or Hellstrom is one of the beings that can hit harder than universes destroying themselves or collapsing? What the heck does all this say about the Hood if he's battling beings like Hellstrom, along with other powerhouses on top of it? Beings that are durable enough to withstand universes collapsing and stuff. Like, he can fight against beings that can hit that hard. You can look at it like he was getting so powerful, you might as well say he was basically becoming Dormammu, or an avatar of Dormammu. Because they never, like, got an actual win on the Hood when he was like this. They just, like, kind of got Dormammu out of him, exorcising the demon out of him completely. To, yeah, it was kind of like a take you out of the battle type of situation, depowering him, honestly. But yeah, at his peak power, he was scarier than universes colliding, honestly. He was basically up there with the mighty powerhouses of Marvel when it comes to high-end magicians. If you think I'm exaggerating about this universe-busting stuff when I'm talking about Dormammu possessing the Hood, I'm not exaggerating, because if you look at the real Dormammu and what he can do, like, this guy is a threat to the Celestials and stuff. So him possessing the Hood and the magicians having to work together to beat him makes total sense, and him being scarier than universes collided and such like that. Like, and this is probably still Dormammu kind of nerf when he was possessing the Hood, but he was still team busting some of the strongest beings ever, like Dr. Voodoo, Hellstrom, and Doctor Strange, you know. And you guys, I shouldn't have to go over the Celestials. The Celestials are multi-dimensional type beings, higher dimensional beings. Dormammu can threaten them, challenge them, and that's why the Hood being possessed by Dormammu was so scary, where they all had to team up to exorcise him and kind of push Dormammu back away. Like, remember earlier how I said he's always making deals with different beings? Pretty much this majority of this video, I've pretty much been showing him possessed by Dormammu, powered up by Dormammu, or powered up by Dormammu artifacts, the Hood, the boots, stuff like that. But yeah, he did get this stuff exercised out of him after he got too dangerous. So you're probably thinking that's the end, right? No, remember earlier I said he always making deals? Yeah, that stuff happened after this stuff. They found a way to write it in a way to where he can get his original powers back. That's when he was approached by Loki, made a deal with Loki. Honestly, technically, the Norn Stones are so powerful, they could have gave him any other power set that wasn't his original power set. But due to him being obsessed with his original powers, it granted him his desire, so that he just basically got his old powers back. So you could say he's at his old power levels again, but just not being possessed by Dormammu this time. I guess one added perk he couldn't do before is power his friends up. With these Norn Stones, he can kind of power them up. I'm talking about getting powered up to the point where they can take on Asgardian warriors. Yeah, he can still teleport just like his previous powers with Dormammu. He can do that too here. And he can teleport his friends or group with him, opening a portal. You're probably thinking, oh, the Hood ain't gonna be that strong, just steal the stones from him. Oh, that's not how that works. They choose their masters. So yeah, these stones are his right for this second, of course. I mean, this is stuff you expect. I mean, yeah, he can empower his guns to create a wall in with his super shot, blows apart a brick wall, bust up all this rubble. He still can do the stuff like Battle Tiger like he did before. As this form, I mean, the beams of magic he can shoot from his gun can cleave through Asgardians, through their shields and their bodies. So yeah, he still has to be somewhat of a powerhouse still, even if he's not higher end Dormammu possessed powerhouse, you know? Well, with these Norns, he's definitely a powerhouse because he got slammed by this being known as Tyr Odinson. Yes, the Tyr you're thinking of. Yes, the god of war. He not only knocked him out, but he can withstand hits from beings like Tyr. Why is this impressive, you're asking? Well, this being Tyr is a being that can get in full-blown battles with like Thor himself, withstand Thor's hits, and keep on going. And it's an extended fight too, guys. So now you understand why the Hood battling Tyr Odinson is impressive. Like, look at this. Like, this wasn't a little scuffle. Like, he can literally give Thor a run for the money, even though Thor can still win through difficulty, of course. For those that are not aware, Thor level beings can literally hit with the force of big bangs, hit with attacks that erupt simultaneously across all planes of reality. Like, Thor level beings can make shockwaves that go across the whole universe shaking type of attacks. Yet Tyr Odinson Odinson can box Thor, but yet the Hood, being Nornstone empowered, can still knock god beings out like this. So even after the Dormammu stuff with the Nornstones, he's a powerhouse still technically. Damage beings that can withstand blows from beings that can shake the universe, blah, blah, freaking blah. You know the routine. He's still high end. You can even make an argument that his base form is higher than his previous base form because he can do all this stuff with Norns without being possessed by a demon now. So you could say his base could be better. You guys know that was inevitable. He doesn't have the Norn Stones no more. Loki took him back. But fear not, this is still not the end. You guys should know by now. Like I brought up earlier in the video when I brought up Mephisto. Well, I'm back to it. Well, we're finally here, guys. He made a bid with Mephisto because somebody like Ghost Rider got in his way. Kind of felt like this was inevitable for him to be at least a Ghost Rider at least once. Being powered up by all these demon people, I guess it was inevitable. Of course, this didn't last long, but the short time he did have the spirit of vengeance, Zarathos, Johnny Blaze gave credit where credit was due. Johnny implied that he has better control over the Ghost Rider because he lets him do whatever he wants a lot more. The cool thing about his version of Ghost Rider is that he can do some of his hood abilities as the Ghost Rider, like going invisible as the Ghost Rider, reminiscent to his past. His version of the Damnation Stare will make the guilty murk each other. Bullets don't do nothing to him, of course. He doesn't care if you gang up on him, even if you're a vampire. You can tell his physical stats are good, like he can land and crack all this and he's good. Don't mess with him. Obviously, he can project fire. He has the blast power to blow up buildings, anything Ghost Riders usually do. He's technically temporarily Zarathos. And anything Zarathos has done in the past, he should be able to do like this. I mean, just remember that what the Spirit of Vengeance can do if their power is unleashed, it can decimate 4 parallel universes. That power in the wrong hands can threaten to bring down the entire afterlife, threaten all of existence. Like this, you know he's up there with our favorite powerhouses or even above them. Like Zarathos fully unleashed is like up there with them Skyfathers. So even though this was short-lived, at this moment, he had the power of a Ghost Rider level being, like a high-end one like Zarathos. Let that sink in. Along with being able to see all your sins someone has committed. But of course, they can't have him stay Ghost Rider, so he got Zarathos literally got ripped out of him, and now he has to be in hell. All of this could be just me. Do you respect the Hood? Yeah, he keep on making deals with dark people. Who do you think he's gonna make a deal with next? I want to hear your thoughts below, but before I get going, y'all, never forget he can damage Dr. Doom Iron Man's armor and overpower different Iron Man armors in general, whether it's Dr. Doom's, Iron Man's, or War Machine's. Just remember that. Somebody tell this guy to stop making deals. But thank you all for the donations. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.